All right, our last lesson of this unit still has to do with graphing, but this time we are going to graph seeing our transformations A, H, and K instead of in standard form like last time. So, your transformations, again, you guys have already seen these like 4 times first semester, so please remember what A, H, and K are. The one thing I do want to point out is this F up here, that just stands for function, so that's just the polynomial. So I wrote this down here, the F in the equation just stands for function, meaning you're applying the transformations to the original function that is graphed. It does not mean anything for transformations. So again, we're just focusing on the letters A, H, and K. So go ahead and write this stuff in your notebooks again. So the first thing you need to be able to do is looking at a function equation, you should be able to tell what the transformation is. So looking at this first one, I have f of x minus 5. Since this minus 5 is all the way out in the back, I know that that means k is negative 5. So this tells me that I shift down 5. So the next one, f of x plus 5, you notice how that plus 5 is inside the parentheses. So that means this is an h value. And again, since this is x plus 5, it's actually the opposite. So this is a negative 5 as well, which tells me I'm going to shift left 5. So that means on that graph, you would take every single point and move it to the left 5. The next one, you have an h and a k value. Here, h is positive 5, and so is k. So that tells me I shift right 5 and up 5. This next one, negative f of x. Remember, your a value is always in front. Since I'm multiplying everything by a negative 1, that just tells me I'm going to flip the graph. So the graph will be upside down. It's called a reflection. For the next one, again, a is negative 1, k is positive 5, so it's going to be reflected and shift up 5. The last one, 3 times f of x. Remember this 3, that is greater than 1, so this is going to be a vertical stretch. So that's where a is 3. So it's a vertical stretch is what we call it. It means that the graph is going to look skinnier. So that's what we've called skinnier in the past. So the first part of your notes and homework for next class is going to be being able to name all of your transformations. From here, now we're going to talk about how to actually graph your transformations. We're actually going to do an example in class, so you just need to copy these notes down. These notes tell you what to do to each point for your different a, h, and k values. So if you have an a value, you're going to multiply a to the y in every point. So that's the same for all 3 of these. So this, you're just going to multiply a to y. H shifts left or right, so that affects your x value. So whatever your h is, you're just going to add that to x. So every single point, if I have an h value, I'm going to take that and add my h value to it. K is up and down, so again, that's your y value. So here we're going to add to y. There, you do have to pay attention to the order. The order of the transformations. First, you do your h, so you change your x values. From there, you're going to multiply any a value to y, and then lastly, you move up and down. So again, we're not going to do an example. There's no try on your own. There's no example of graphing. That's just what we're going to start with in class next time. So just make sure to have all of this in your notes.